1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted. I wanted a startup that is solving not a UAE problem or GCC problem, but a problem that is global. Any project to be sustainably viable should first be economically sustainable, economically viable.
Today, I'm very happy to welcome someone from our MENA Impact community, Dr. Haitham Al Riahi, co-founder of Circa Biotech. Haythem is a biotechnology and circular economy leader. He holds a PhD in biotechnology and has dedicated his career to turning organic waste into valuable resources, creating both environmental and economic benefits.
The term bioindustry didn't exist 3 years ago here in the UAE. We are not creating software. We are creating a physical product from an industrial process. To all the VCs that I talked to, the only question in common is, was this made elsewhere in the world? Actually, I learned more by this failing business than from the executive MBA.
Haythem, welcome to Impact Talk.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's been a while, actually.
Yeah, it does.
I really wanted to have you on the podcast because I've been following your journey with Circa Biotech and I really like what you're doing. So
Thank you.
Very pleased to have you.
Thank you so much. And it's my pleasure today to represent all Circa Biotech team and to talk about what we already achieved and what we are trying to achieve here in the UAE. So, yeah.
Amazing. So, I'm still thinking how to start this conversation because, we know each other. We've been talking a lot, about your journey and what you've been doing. So, I want to go back a little bit before Circa Biotech. So I'd love to know, because you were doing something different before starting Circa Biotech. So I would love to know, when did you decide to, let's say, focus on sustainability and circular economy and really make it your mission?
Wow. Okay. I will try to be brief here, but I started my career in pharma and biotech. So a normal corporate career, and started in France. I worked for 20 years for multinational companies, and this is what brought me here to the UAE in 2014, actually. So it's 11 years that I'm living in this beautiful country. In parallel with that, I always had this, we call it a virus, this entrepreneurial virus. So I always had a side hustle, another company, business, startup that I'm working on. So I started first one, that was 2010, 11. It went well. I exited. I sold it. I was very happy, learned a lot. And then I started the second one, failed miserably, lost a lot of money, but learned a lot. That was, by the way, I always say this, after my PhD, I started an executive MBA in France, and it was like evening courses. It was hard and long, and I thought that I had it all. Like, I know how to make business. And then after this experience, I was like, no, I don't. Actually, I learned more by this failing business than from the executive MBA, honestly. So now back to 2019, I wanted to start another business. Like, when you have the virus, you have it.
You never stop.
But I wanted to have something that is solving a global problem. So a global problem, it means that I wanted a startup that is solving not a UAE problem or a GCC problem, but a problem that is global, that will have an impact. And midlife crisis, and you start thinking about the next generation and how you could work on that. So one of the issues that struck me, or the information that struck me, is globally, 1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted. And the major part of it ends up in landfills. So I was thinking like, okay, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
And here in the UAE particularly, we are the 4th country per capita when it comes globally, when it comes to food waste. And like everyone sees the amount of food waste that is generated in this country. But it's a global problem. So I started searching. So being a scientist, this is what we do. So today, 2025, with all the technology and the AI and everything that we have, the way that we treat solid waste, organic waste, we have only 3 technologies. Landfilling, so we throw everything.
Mm-hmm.
Incineration, we burn it. Or waste to energy, which is the most, I would say, sustainable way of doing it. So turning the organic waste into a gas that you can use as combustible. But the last 2, the incineration and the energy to the waste to energy, are not really commercially viable. So they need always a subsidy from the state, from the municipality, from something like that. It's very difficult to have a private company making profit out of an incineration plant or waste to energy plant, unless it is in a very particular context. So I said, like, what would be the solution to that? How we can solve this? And I find out that there is a very strange way of doing it. I'll tell you about it. But I found out that nature is very efficient in solving the problem of organic waste, and we can do it if we know how to engineer an environment to do that. So this is how everything started.
Very interesting. So you're a serial entrepreneur.
Kind of.
Yeah. So, which is, and you know why? Why I'm mentioning it, because when you explain the problem and immediately you think about the financial aspects, as you know, an entrepreneur, like it's fine to spot a problem, but how do I make it a viable business? It's very interesting that you brought that up from the beginning.
I love this remark. Honestly, within the work of Circa Biotech, we do a lot of interventions and speech and talks with universities or students that are aspiring to be entrepreneur. And specifically when they invite me, I'm talking about sustainability, how sustainability could be part of this movement. So the first sentence I start with, any project to be sustainably viable, like sustainable in the term of environmentally sustainable, should first be economically sustainable, economically viable. Because if not, you cannot continue. You cannot generate the flow that will allow this company or this solution to continue.
Yeah, I think it's essential, and you see it, when especially you work with entrepreneurs and part of the
today,
ecosystem.
Technically, everything is possible. Literally, everything is possible. We can have protein out of air. Technically, it's possible. We can grow meat on lab. We can do so many things. But how to make this economically viable? This is like the code that we entrepreneurs have to crack.
And this is where entrepreneurs have a major
absolutely.
role to
Absolutely.
play, actually, in sustainability.
Absolutely.
So.
Or fail and learn, and like it's the game.
Yeah. So let's talk about Circa Biotech.
Okay.
So because you explained us the problem of organic waste. So now, what's your solution? What's your nature-based solution?
Yeah, nature-based. This is the word. So I'm a scientist, but I'm a biologist. And biologists, when they are facing a problem, their first reflex is to turn to nature. So how nature is solving the problem of organic waste. So if you go to a forest, for example, there's no waste in a forest. a forest doesn't smell bad, right?
Yeah.
But it's a living ecosystem. So there's animals, there's trees, falling leaves, corpse. How nature recycle its own waste. So the engine of nature recycling is insects. So think about an animal that dies in a forest. The first thing that will happen, it will be eaten by grubs, worms, insects. And those insects themselves would be eaten by other animals, birds, reptiles, or even fish. So it's circular. And every individual, every organism has its value. And this is how nature is doing it, because like after that will come fungi and then microorganisms, and it will be decomposed and it will be turned into a fertilizer for etc. etc. So the question is how we could harness this force of the nature in order to treat our own waste. So at Circa Biotech, we engineered an environment where a beneficial insect called the black soldier fly could grow and reproduce. So we can treat our own organic waste, specifically food waste, with this insect. And then use that insect to feed animals and to do other things. So that was the idea of Circa Biotech. We started in 2020, October 2020, in Masdar City, in Abu Dhabi. And it was like an MVP, a minimum viable product. We started trying to do it because there's some technical difficulties around this. We need to maintain temperature, humidity, and other parameters, environmental parameters within the facility at a constant level, whatever the temperature is outside. So even if it is 50 degrees outside, it should be 27 degrees inside. Even if it is 8 degrees outside during winter at night, it's the same. So, and we succeeded. And now we have built a second factory that is processing 6,000 tons a year. We have a colony of 35 million insects and growing. Wow. Yeah, very well contained, don't worry.
So it started as a pilot, and once the pilot basically, showed positive results, I guess, this is when you started scaling the business.
Let me get back to this. Technical aspect, piloting and scaling up is just one aspect of what we are doing. The first, always, again, I will come back to this. It is a business. And the business needs a license to operate. And the business, once it has a license, the business needs a customer to buy the product. So this is how we started. When we started and how we deployed our plan and our growth strategy, we made it from, we worked with, this is our customer. He's willing to buy. How we reverse engineer it in order to have the right license so we can register the product. We have the right quantities, we have the right supply, we have the right team to serve this objective. So to give you an idea, as I said, Circa Biotech started October 2020. We worked 1 year and a half before in order to get the license. Because there was no license for insect farming. We created it. And you can imagine the amount of work that you have to deploy and education in order to come to authorities with just a slide deck and say listen, by the way, we are in pandemic. I want to grow millions of insects.
Must have enjoyed it.
So and it's an aspect that is involving a lot of government entities and regulators and all of that. So the big work was on licensing, because we are pioneers. So we are bringing something that didn't exist before, a new industry actually that didn't exist before. So that was the first problem that we solved. And always when we are doing that work was, who is our customer? What license would we need for what product registration?
So who is your customer? Who are your customers? What's the product you sell to your customers? Because
we didn't talk about that.
Yes, this is very important. I'm following the entrepreneur, mindset.
Okay, so actually, let me walk you through what we do.
Yeah. Okay.
So in our facility, we receive food waste. As I said, we receive 6,000 tons a year. So we pre-treat them. That means we grind them and we sort this food waste. By the way, the food waste that we receive is what we call pre-consumer food waste. So
what does it mean?
Pre-consumer food waste, that means it's the food that didn't come to your fridge yet.
Okay.
This is like a good definition that we found.
Okay.
So this didn't get to the consumer fridge yet. It means our customers are industries.
Yeah. Supermarkets.
And supermarkets, yes. Chains of supermarkets. So we work with Spinneys, Schoitram.
Okay.
This kind of brands. Maybe I should not name brands. I don't know.
It's okay.
Anyway, so this is our source. And we choose to do that for two reasons. The first reason is way more easy to organize logistics with businesses than with particulars. So our business is 100% B2B. So this is our supply. This is where we are getting the food waste. We are not making money out of collecting the food waste. We lose money in collecting food waste because of the logistics. So once we have this, as I said, we shred it, we grind it, and we give it to those insects. So those insects are voracious eaters. So they eat double their body weight every day. It's like me. I'm 80 kg. I will eat 160 kg. And tomorrow I will be bigger. So I'll be eating more and more and more. They grow 500 times in 10 days. Wow. It's like for a human baby growing as big as a fully grown elephant in 10 days. You see the size? Yeah. So they are voracious eaters. They eat everything. So meat, cheese, bread, fruit and vegetables, you name it. They can eat everything. And they are voracious eaters. Why? Because this is all the energy that they will be storing at this larval stage. Let me talk about this. Sorry, it will be a little bit long. But do you know the story of the caterpillar eating, becoming a butterfly? The kids' story?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same. So they have a cycle. So it starts with an egg. When the egg hatch, you have a larvae. The size of this larvae is like a pinpoint. You can barely see them when they hatch. And at that stage, they need to eat a lot. So they eat for 14 days. They become bigger. So from a pinpoint to this size, so 500 times. And then they stop eating, they stop moving, and the metamorphose starts. After 10 days, will emerge an adult fly. The adult flies are sexually mature, and they can mate and lay eggs.
Yeah.
By the way, the flies are not like the domestic flies that you're having. They're very specific, and they don't have a mouth. So they don't eat, they don't bite, they don't stink. That's why we call them beneficial, because they are not vector to any disease for animals, human, or plants. So even if there's a catastrophe and our plant collapse or whatever happen and they are released,
it's not dangerous.
Nothing will happen. After 10 days, they will die because they are very weak. They don't eat. And it's over, and they cannot carry any disease to plants, animal, or human. So after 10 days, we harvest 90% of them. We kept 10% to continue the cycle into adults so we can have eggs for the next cycle. And from those harvested larvae, we extract 3 products: protein, fat, and manure. You know what manure is?
No.
It's their poop.
Okay.
Out of their manure, we do organic fertilizer. Okay. And it's coming back to the story of the forest, by the way. Their manure, once we compost it, it smells like rain after forest after rain smell.
Yeah, I see.
Actually, what we are smelling is insect poop.
Now we know.
Now you know. Yeah. So, and it's a very potent fertilizer. So this is the first product. The second product is protein. And the protein content of those larvae, because what they are eating, it's very high. So it's around 60 to 65% protein. To give you an idea, chicken breast is around 23% protein.
Oh, okay.
So, and we use it as ingredient for animal feed. So we feed chicken and fish. Why specifically chicken and fish? Because those animals are naturally insectivore. That means they eat insect in their diet. Okay. If you had chicken in your backyard, you will see that they are having this reflex of picking. What they are doing is they are just looking for grubs. This is what they eat. The same when we were kids, when we were going for fishing, what we put in the hook is a worm, it's a grub. Because fish, this is what they like and this is what they eat. So we are really mimicking nature. We are bringing back what was done in nature by making an animal feed out of what a chicken should eat. Chicken in nature would never meant to eat soybean. I'm sorry. So
True.
yeah.
So 2 products. That's
3 products.
Okay.
The third is like the one. And actually, you're right. This is what we have as a product. So fertilizer from the poop and protein. But the protein extraction process has a byproduct. When we extract protein, we have a byproduct, which is the fat. And we find a way. So we invented a process that we patented to turn this fat into jet fuel, sustainable aviation fuel, SAF. To be precise, as feedstock for sustainable aviation fuel. So SAF-ready feedstock, the technical term. Yeah, so
3 products.
3 products, exactly.
And
3 products in 3 different industries.
Oh, I was about to ask. So for 3 different clients,
3 different industries. Yeah. And by the way, the fuel come later. So when we started working, what we have in mind is our customer is an animal feed manufacturer. Our customer is a regenerative agriculture farm that is using organic fertilizer. So you start by talking to those people first before starting anything. And you see the appetite. Is there's any appetite for that? Is there's any willingness to test if we come with a product? And then what from a regulation point of view, what kind of product registration we would need? What kind of certificate, what kind of license we need to operate under. And you work it backward. And this is how we did. And this took us 2.5 years to figure all of that. As I told you, of course, together with the technical part and the product and all of that has to work together. So our first sale, I would say, was made 2023.
Yeah, it took time.
And we started in 2020. So, and this is also the specificity of sustainability, but industry. We are not creating software. We are creating a physical product from an industrial process. That means there's time to
there is
do
R&D behind it, so it's
everything
innovation.
that I explained. There's legal, and specifically, it's not a product that exists in the market. It's a product that you are creating. So it means everything has to be done. So if tomorrow, I don't know, I wanted to create a new line of furniture, for example, I won't have the problem of the licensing and all of that. All of that is sorted. People don't think about it, but if you have to start something from scratch, it's something. So at least today, one of our biggest achievements, is we opened the door. So any entrepreneur that wants to enter into insect farming today, he has already the way open. The license exists, the customer is educated, government entities know what we are talking about. So we are opening the door.
Yeah, it's like creating a new category.
Actually, what we wanted to do in the beginning is creating a product, and we ended up creating an industry.
Yeah.
And now we are creating an ecosystem, of course, not alone as Circa Biotech. There's other startups that we are working in synergy, and SMEs and even corporate. We are working together to create this ecosystem of circular economy, circular industry, bio-industry. The term bio-industry didn't exist 3 years ago here in the UAE.
So you're really a pioneer. What I like about your approach is that because your background is in entrepreneurship and you're a scientist, you mix the two. Because usually what
too
we
much
see,
craziness.
No, but actually it just makes sense because it's very clear in your approach that okay, we are, creating something new. It's a lot of research and all of that. But at the same time, you're already thinking about how we're going to monetize that, how we're going to make it a business. So it's very clear when you explain it that you are plugging the two. And I think this is what also makes you successful, because at the end of the day, 2 years, it's not a very long time for what you've been doing.
Honestly, what we achieved in 5 years in retrospective, I'm even surprised. I wasn't expecting that we will come to this point when I started in the beginning. And coming back to the failure of the second startup, everything I'm saying today is part of the learning.
So failure is important.
Failure is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Failure is the best teacher. So as like, I think it was Nelson Mandela who said, we never lose, or we win or we learn.
Yeah.
And this is true. The real shame is when you fail and you start blaming anyone else and you don't learn from it. This is wasteful.
Yeah, this is not the right mindset, let's say. You said we are not a software, which I kind of like, because you fall into what we call climate tech startups, which is kind of a word that encompasses to me a lot of different stuff. So, and when it comes to startups, we think about investments, we think eventually about VCs. So I'm very curious to know, like, what was the reaction when you were seeking investment and say, hey, I'm going to work,
Okay.
I'm going to mimic nature, and it's going to be a very profitable business.
So as I said, the first difficulty was with government entities and setting the business and having all the license and all of that. And then I was expecting this and this, reaction. But before talking about that, let me say something. So, as you said, climate tech is a very broad term. So within climate tech, there's a lot of SaaS company. There's a lot of software-based company because we need them. Yeah. Because we need software for carbon accounting. We need software for procurement and sustainable procurement. We need software for circularity and getting all the things that are in surplus to others that are in need for that product. So we need platforms to exchange. We need platforms for food waste, donation or whatever. So I'm not saying that software is not have its place in climate tech. I'm just saying that there is this part and there is the other part that is pure, I would say, more infrastructure. So there is a technology infrastructure, which is software, and there's more industrial infrastructure that is CapEx intensive. So being said that, the first thing, let's talk about VCs, their mindset, their psychology, and their way of working.
What was the reaction?
Yeah, I would tell you, but like, yeah, I'm the kind of guy who like to give introduction and context. So let's talk about this part of the ecosystem, the VCs. First thing that you have to understand that the playbook of VCs are made for SaaS company, for software. Their way of thinking, their way of seeing, assessing, and putting KPIs to a venture, this playbook is tailor-made for SaaS company. So when you are not SaaS, first you have this barrier. It's not what we are expecting to see. So this is the first. Second, VCs, they don't like CapEx at all. Third, VCs are startups like us. This I learned quite recently, but VCs are startups like us. They are raising from LPs, they are deploying, and they are having return on investment, and they are having mandates. Okay? So, if in your mandate you don't have this impact part or this part of CapEx intensive, I am not, as a startup, a good fit for you, and you are not definitely a good fit for me because I cannot deliver for you the kind of return that you are expecting and that you have to report to the LPs. You see? So this is the context. Now, my experience. So my experience with that, first, when we started and we have like the first interaction and the first thing, what we approached VCs, and I will tell you something like it's very indicative to all the VCs that I talked to. I would say at the early stage, the first 3 years, the only question in common that they all had to me is, was this made elsewhere in the world?
Interesting.
This gives you an idea about the risk aversion of the VCs. And I have to say, in all honesty, these are the local original VCs that I had this question from. And kind of, I can understand it. So if you see any success story here in the region or even in the UAE, like, they are all kind of an adaptation.
Yeah. We call them copycats.
Of something that proven its success elsewhere, and we bring it here and we try to make it at the local source, which is very valuable and big work. I was reading a book by Noor Suwaidi. I'm sorry, what's his name?
Coming into age.
Coming into age. Thank you so much. And it's very, very instructive. I learned a lot about it. I learned a lot about it because it was written from her perspective.
She's a VC, by the way, just for the audience.
Yes.
So she's the founder of Global Ventures, a VC based in the UAE, and they invest in emerging markets.
Yeah, one of the stories that talk to me is the story of Aramex, for example. So if you see it from our perspective, Aramex was like another DHL coming to the region. But remember, when Aramex started, here in the region, we didn't even have street names. So when you deliver something, it will be, yes, the second building after the petrol station, that kind of thing. Payment methods, how to pay when Aramex started. So all of that was done. So it doesn't mean when you bring a concept or an idea from outside, it's easy. It's not. But at least it calms the risk aversion of an investor that at some point the idea is proved. So when you bring something that is so new, it's scary for them. So what was our approach at Circa? Our approach at Circa was, okay, let's grow with our customers. Let's grow with our sales. So we cannot really rely on VCs. We had the support of a lot of accelerators, incubators here in the UAE. Every one of them had an aspect of help, an aspect of mentoring, an aspect of helping us to understand better, helping us to get more connection, helping us to get more introduction, helping us to get more government entries and tribute to talk about our product. And this brought us customers, and this brought us revenue, and we grow with our revenue, and we built our second factory with our revenue. So now when we are talking to VCs, it's another talk, because now we are not talking about a concept or a lab scale. We are talking about industry with revenue, with customers, with partners as solid as ADNOC and customers as solid as ADNOC. So it changed, and it calms their fear of not performing. Of course, all of that has to come with serious projection, serious financial work. But you need to understand from where those VCs coming in order to talk to them.
So would you advise like a startup in kind of the same field as Circa Biotech or sustainability to first focus on building a very strong business model, like kind of prove the model like you've been doing before reaching out to VCs or, investors?
Actually, I will advise anyone doing business to start with that. Because you are at risk of succeeding before the VC's money, so you keep everything. Don't forget, when you are taking the money of an investor, this is not free money. You are giving also something else. And I saw a situation where a founder built a business, scale it, exit it, and got almost nothing.
Oh my God.
No, possible.
Yeah, of course.
Very possible. Yeah. Actually, my first business that I sold, Yeah, I was. I regret.
You had investors?
No, it's not that. It's like if I stayed more, if I was
Okay.
more patient, if I had a conversation or a negotiation, harder negotiation, I would have way more out of it. But this is the game. This is the game. And when you are, again, industry like us, in order to scale up, you need investment in CapEx. And it's very rare that your revenue will allow you to have this growth.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you need that. So ideal case scenario, you start with money from accelerators, incubators, and be careful, some of them are very...
So preferably equity-free money.
If you can.
Yeah.
If you can,
Like
if they are
grants.
available, grants,
Though
or
we don't have
paid pilots from companies. This also could help. Start with this. Build something small. By the way, when we started, the first factory was 2 containers. 2 connected containers. This is where we started in the very beginning, and then we brought 4, 5, 6, and we have like a space outside, and then we grow out of that. But start with this, then create traction, then create sales as small as you can, and this will give you this momentum. So when you are discussing with investors, you will get there. Then, angel investors. In this region, we have more angel investors than grants, by the way. So angel investors are doing great job in this region in supporting new companies, new products, new startups, new concepts. And once you get all of that, once you have your sales traction, then you can talk to VCs.
Makes sense, actually. Makes total sense. Last question for you, Haythem. So we didn't say that you're Tunisian. So you grew up in Tunisia. You are French also. So you spend a lot of your life, part of your life in France. Why the UAE? Why building Circa Biotech here in the UAE and not anywhere else?
No brainer. I would compare to France because this is where I grew and this is where my professional experiences. There's no way I could grow my business that fast in France or in Europe. There is no way that I could have the support that I get here in Europe. Everything is not like green and it's not easy, but relatively, if I compare Europe to the UAE, definitely I will start a business in the UAE. If I have to start another business, I will start it in the UAE, definitely. So there is this, how to say, the environment touch you. So there's this creative environment here in the UAE that is stimulate this mindset of entrepreneurship, of making business, of trying things and see how it works and adapt and adjust and scale. The environment here is like, unfortunately, entrepreneurship is a French word. But you know very well that in France we are not very entrepreneur.
No, I always say it's funny because I echo what you just said, and I've never wanted to become an entrepreneur, but like never ever. But what changed my mind is when I moved to the UAE. And when I met so many entrepreneurs and I heard so many stories and they fail and they try again and it's fine. And, it's not a big deal. It's okay. And we learn and we do another one and another one.
If we have time, I have an anecdote. And this is an American guy who told me that. And we were talking about this same thing. Actually, in France, when I was studying, when I was doing my PhD, I was also interested in something called valorisation de la recherche, called I don't know the exact English term, but it's like taking all the R&D studies that are made in the university and try to make a business out of it.
Okay.
Valorisation de la recherche, it's like valuing the research or something like that.
We'll add subtitles.
Yeah.
We'll do our research.
Honestly, I don't know the English word.
It's okay.
But the idea is there's so many PhDs happening in all the universities. Let's have some department in each university that will see which one of those PhDs could turn into a commercial product.
Okay.
Which is great. Yeah. And I was really interested into that, and I made courses on it, and this is what I wanted to know. And then I realized that actually the risk aversion, we were talking about the risk aversion, there is something beyond any expertise. So they have to make sure 100% that you will make money, that they end up blocking 100% of the good projects. Actually, in my field, biology, molecular biology, biotechnology, I know only one company that was out of the university and make a company, a startup, and was successful. Mm-hmm. I only know one in the last 20 years at least. Mm-hmm. Stella for digital PCR. Anyway, very, very technical, but like in the healthcare area, people will know. So the American approach, or the approach that we are having here. So he told me like, you in Europe, it's like your approach to that is like the guy who had his son put an apple on the top of his head and he has one arrow and you have to aim and not miss. This is your approach. So you don't have to miss. You have to be correct 100% of the chance. You cannot fail. He told me, so for the American approach is when they were hunting for buffaloes. So when they were hunting for buffaloes, what they do is they corner them, they put them like in an area like this, down a valley, and they start shooting arrows on the sky.
Yeah.
So a lot of arrows, and on what they shoot, some of them will land on buffaloes and they will end up eating. I told him like, it's like that. So the approach is when you're investing $1 million, you know that 80% of it will fail. And then 10% will bring you, and then the 5 or 1 to 5% will bring you like your real return. So you have the right to fail. And failing is a good learning curve.
That's culture.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Culture.
That's culture. Exactly.
And interesting. So I really enjoyed our conversation, but we are nearing the end of the episode. But I want to end the episode with a quick fire Q&A.
Okay.
So I want very short answers. Like very short.
We will try.
I have 5 questions for you.
Okay.
One piece of advice to a MENA founder who wants to build a science-based startup for the planet.
Just start.
One misconception about biotech that you wish more people understood.
Yeah, it's a lab thing that could not be industrialized or scaled.
One word that describes your entrepreneurial journey so far.
Woohoo! You got your answer.
I like it.
It's a roller coaster. Like, well, in the same day you can laugh, cry, and be happy and sad. So it's
Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Your superpower as a founder.
Resilience.
And the best community for mission-driven founders you recommend.
Hub 71.
So I had a really good time, Haythem, with you. I said before we start this episode, like I wanted to be a conversation.
But you got it.
I don't want it to be like an interview or anything. We know each other. I know a little bit of your story, but I know even more right now. So thank you. Super, super interesting. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of founders or people willing to jump into sustainability, and there are a lot of people that really need inspiration and need to hear such stories. So thank you so much.
I thank you. It was a great time on Friday evening after the stress of the week to have this. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Nadine. And to be honest, I really love the work that you are doing at MENA Impact. You are creating a real diverse, by the way, community that is having a real impact. So thank you for your work on behalf of all of us. And I think we will meet again for another interview.
For another episode. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Dr. Haitham Riahi. You can find us on YouTube. We have subtitles in both Arabic and English, and also on all the podcast platforms. Just search for Impact Talk with Nadine Zidani. And see you at the next episode.